Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. Got Sammy Gazzo out of the Mildura Heat again to join me, and we've got the round 8 preview in the Northwest, our last round, Sammy, for season 2023. And it's got some very interesting games. We've got a couple of games in the women that are going to shape and define the ladder. But the men's, we've got a top of the table clash, and then we've got a battle for a final position in the top 4 on the Sunday. I told you one of these games is going to be on the Sunday, and we weren't going to have more time to prepare. So it's going to be an interesting round 8.
Yeah, it is, and that's great. That's how we want it. We want it to be exciting. It is the last round. I don't know. Has it been long or quick? I can't tell you whether the last 8 weeks or 8 rounds have been long or quick, but yeah, it's the exciting end of the year. So all the hard work comes down to these last few games or last games. So I'm happy and I'm excited that there is so many games that actually do dictate where people finish up. So if you're good enough, you'll get it done, and that's what we're after. So everyone putting their best foot forward. So let's get into it.
Let's start Saturday. Echuca are taking on Bacchus Marsh in Echuca. Now, Bacchus Marsh 4-5 record currently. Can they travel into Echuca and win the game to finish with a 500 record for the season?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like we spoke about last week, Echuca seemed to have found a bit of form, winning on the Saturday night and just losing to Melton on the Sunday. So for me, it might be which Echuca, well, actually maybe for both teams, which Echuca side turns up and which Bacchus Marsh side turns up. To Bacchus Marsh put their cue in the rack and look after some of their better players, and maybe get some of the younger guys to have a bit of a run and see how they go, and do Echuca want to defend home 4 and get that 3rd win for the year. So it's how you want to finish the year and what your priorities are, but it might be closer than what we think. Echuca might get this one.
And then top of the ladder clash Saturday night when your Mildura Heat host Castlemaine in the Hot House. This is the first time you guys are meeting this season. I thought both teams were potentially going to be undefeated at this game, but unfortunately both teams had a loss in the same round. This is going to be a cracker game.
Yeah, it's no fun if we're both undefeated and then we play this round and then going into finals. So we thought we'd drop a game, work out what our kinks are, and then maybe be totally prepared playing each other. I don't know. No, but this will be exciting. Castlemaine obviously have had a great season as well, only having the one loss and seem to be finding different ways to win, just by looking at their margins more than anything else. And we're probably pretty similar in that sense, that not everything's gone smooth sailing and you've had to find different ways to win, and that's a sign of good sides, being able to find different ways to win. So as much as you want to sell it as a top of the table and yada yada, like, realistically, both sides have got a bit of a free swing to see whatever happens. To my understanding, both teams can't really move out of the top 2, so there will be a home final for each of us next week. But at the same time, it is finals next week, so it's not that you look far ahead, but you want to bring the right sort of play into it. So you don't want to just not play and then see how you go and turn it on next week. That's not going to happen, especially looking at how close it's been this year. So, yeah, can't wait to welcome them in. We're hoping for a packed house. We usually get pretty good crowds, and Castlemaine being such a good side, we can't wait to play against them. I know some of the guys know each other within the team, so there might be a bit of text messaging to and fro during the week, a bit of fun, and yeah, can't wait to play against them. It'll be fun.
And then Sunday, Melton are hosting Macedon Rangers, and this game is going to be another cracker game. So 3rd versus 5th as it currently stands on the ladder, but from all calculations I've been able to put together, the team that wins here will lock in their top 4 positions. So it's pretty much win or go home.
Yeah, there's another game we've got to go through, but yes, most probably. It does come down to this. So again, like we said before, or on the last show, it's if you're good enough, you win. You've got to beat whoever's in front of you. So whether you finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, you've got to beat the better. You got to beat the team in front of you both times to make finals. And for Melton and for Macedon, they just got finals a week early. So it's probably not a bad thing. for both teams either going into finals to have to play in that sort of an atmosphere. So, yeah, flip of the coin. Flip of the coin really depends on what side rocks up for both teams, and we get to see a bit of a finals-like atmosphere at the Cobblebank Stadium before the grand finals played there. So get out there, cheer on your team because they are pretty close to each other, and I guess we'll see what happens next week. One of the teams, whoever wins, is going to finish top 4. That's it.
And then Swan Hill welcome Castlemaine in on the way home from Mildura. Now, this is going to be an interesting game, this one. Obviously, Swan Hill found some form last Sunday, and Castlemaine will be wanting to make sure they walk out of here with a W. So at least they're splitting the weekend if they do lose on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's also an interesting one, just again going back to form going into finals. Castlemaine did have the bye last week, so I don't think you want to have 2 bad games, not win losses as such, but just in regards to how they play their basketball, they're not going to want to play 2 bad games over the weekend. So I guess depending what does happen on Saturday night may or may not dictate how they go into the Sunday, but they're probably just looking to take some form into finals. So yeah, Swan Hill's tough on the Sunday. Swan Hill don't play on the Saturday night either, so they might be a little bit more refreshed. But yeah, it'll be a tough game for Castlemaine on the Sunday, definitely.
And our last game in the men's regular season for season 2023 is Bendigo hosting Kyneton in Red Energy Arena. Now, obviously, Kyneton haven't been able to get on the winners list so far this season. They'll be eagerly wanting to get onto that. But Bendigo really need to win this game to make sure they solidify their spot in the top 4.
Yeah, again, not knowing a whole bunch about the head-to-head side of things, but my understanding, Bendigo will have the head-to-head over Macedon and Melton. Should they lose and Macedon win, they'll have the head-to-head. So they might be in a little bit more of a comfortable position than the other guys. And then, should Melton win as well, they've got the head-to-head over Melton. So I think for Bendigo, it's probably a form thing. You don't want to go into the finals with bad form. You don't want to just drop a game for the sake of dropping a game. So they'll probably do what they need to do to make sure they get over the line, and then have one eye at least on the finals the week after.
And let's move across to the women. And Melton are hosting Swan Hill on Saturday night. And Melton win their 2 games, and they'll pretty much lock in a top 4 position.
Yeah, it's 7 wins. That'll have them above at least Bacchus Marsh, anyways, for one of those finals spots. So again, finals are in their hands, like the men's side. They need to take care of business, even though they've got 2 games. So they'll just be ready to go. Swan Hill on the Saturday night. They just want to make sure they take care of business before they play their Sunday game.
And Mildura is hosting Bacchus Marsh in the hot house, in which Bacchus Marsh they need to win both their games and rely on maybe a couple of results. So they've still got a chance to make the top 4. But, again, Mildura want to be winning as well to make sure they solidify their spot in the top 4.
Yeah, so the women's side makes it very interesting in the sense that there's potentially 4 teams that can end up on the same win-loss record with a 6-4 record. So should Mildura win this, it does make it easier for you, which I know is why you're smiling, because it's not what you want. You don't want Bacchus Marsh to win, not lose, sorry, but you want to make it easier for your calculations and for you don't have to agree with me because you have to be neutral. But yeah, for Mildura, they're hoping they lost to Maryborough last week. They'll want to have some form. Well, they'll want to win to make finals. That's going to solidify it. Potentially, if they lose, they might not make finals. So for both teams, it's a finals game. So that'll be a cracker. So I guess from a Mildura perspective, make sure we're there. And Bacchus Marsh, please travel up. We don't have Saucy Sizzles. We do have a great canteen, which has an array of healthy and maybe potentially unhealthy food, but it's great to spoil yourself on the Saturday.
And then Sunday, Melton take on Macedon Rangers. And, Macedon haven't been able to hit the winners list yet. But, similar to Kyneton in the men, they'll be out to try and get this one on the Sunday. And Melton need to be prepared because really they need to win both to lock in a top 4 position.
Yeah, I think I dare say coach would have them ready, Melton, for this weekend. So they'll want to, if they do their work early on the Saturday night with Swan Hill, Sundays it makes it Sunday, I guess, a little bit easier. But at the same time, you don't want to finish on 6-4 with everybody else. So I'm sure they'll be ready. And I guess for Macedon, we'll see what team they put on the floor, whether they're full strength or whether they just have a lot of the youngsters like they did last week. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think Melton will take care of business here.
And then Bacchus Marsh pull into Swan Hill after playing Mildura on the Saturday night. And depending on what the result is on Saturday night will sort of depend on, I guess, how much Bacchus Marsh need to win on Sunday. So, it should still be a really good contest either way.
Yeah, it will be. And Swan Hill have a bit of a say on the final four a little bit. Playing Melton on the Saturday night, they have a chance there to have a bit of an upset, which will hinder Melton's chances. And then say Bacchus Marsh do win on the Saturday night. If they lose this game on the Sunday, well, that might end their season as well. So, it'll be an interesting game. Definitely interesting. Bacchus Marsh, rolling into Swan Hill on the Sundays has been a bit difficult for teams, but again, I think Bacchus Marsh, will be ready to go. So, even if they do lose on the Saturday night, I dare say they'd want to win on the Sunday.
And last game in the women's, Bendigo taking on Kyneton. Currently, first and second taking on each other. And Bendigo win, they lock in their top 4 position. If they lose, they potentially fall into the pack and head-to-head, however it's going to work, it's out of their hands then, I guess.
Yeah, so another game, which is finals-like in that sense, because you're exactly right, but you finish second and they've got a real chance of completely missing out. I mean, without knowing all the head-to-head, there is that chance there. So, Kyneton only with one loss seemed like a real professional outfit. They play a similar sort of style of basketball week in, week out and really have a defensive mindset. So I dare say they'll be ready to go. And but yeah, I think Bendigo might want to get one back from earlier on in the season. So that'll be a cracker. Get out to Red Energy on Sunday, definitely.
That's it. That's our round 8 preview in the Northwest. It is the last round of the season and some really exciting matches, as we've mentioned, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. There's a whole bunch. Look, especially in the women. I know there's a sort of a top of the table clash in the men, and we've got at the moment, 3rd and 5th playing with Melton and Macedon. So, good luck to those teams. Give it a crack, and we'll be talking about success for one and a bit of a downfall for the other, unfortunately. But that's great. And then the women's, most games really. I think all game has some. Yeah, every game has some say on the final. So get out there and support the women this week. That's huge. Every game is going to have a say on final somewhere.
It certainly is. So good luck to teams this weekend. Spectators, get in the stands. Sensational
100%.
Basketball happening in round 8 in the Northwest Conference, and you can't miss it. You got to be there.